Is it better to live in America or Europe? On the occasion of the 4th of July, I found it fitting to make a little video about America versus Western Europe. In my activities as a French coach, I coach many adult learners from America who have the project of living in France. But why do Americans want to go to France? I think there's a part of dreaming in their reasons, but there's also a list of rational reasons, things they wish to find in Europe and don't have in America. I'm now settled, married and living in America on the East Coast, and as you can hear from my accent, obviously from Western Europe, so I did the opposite journey. What's my expertise in the matter, you might ask? My credentials in the matter is that I've known France for over 40 years, the UK, Belgium. I have a fair idea of how Germany and Poland work, a bit of Luxembourg also. I know a lot less about the realities of Spain or Portugal. I know a bit about Italy, heard a few things from people I've met. Ireland also heard a few things, and my sister-in-law lives in Sweden. As you can tell, I'm listing all these countries individually because it's important to understand that Europe isn't an entity. It isn't one country. One European from one country often doesn't know what the other European from the other country is doing. Europe is a financial union that appeared one bright day, and Europeans received the news one bright day, and it's been open borders and a single currency ever since. But before that, each European country was very foreign to the next, and still is really, except that now there's a European Parliament in which representatives of the 27 member countries gather to talk about stuff that the average European doesn't really include in their day-to-day conversation, or doesn't really understand, frankly. Europe actually works a lot like America, in the sense that a New Yorker doesn't specifically know about the politics of Idaho. They're separate states, different atmospheres and different ways of behaving. So now that we've said all of this, it's really starting to look like comparing one fragmented thing to another fragmented thing. You know, we can easily compare two pencils, but comparing two complex things like America and Europe becomes very, very hard. So we are completely within the realm of the subjective. And before we go on any further with this video and I reveal to you my opinion on the matter, I'm including a promo code for the 4th of July. So check out the description below and enjoy a discount on your next purchase from OuiCommunicate. Not only do you get a sure pathway towards French, but also never seen before expert bilingual tutoring. A pretty sweet deal if I say so myself. Okay, I'll now share with you what I personally think about the debate of Europe versus America, and I'll focus on just two things. Number one, the weather. If you enjoy living with a grey cloud over your head 300 days a year, Europe is absolutely for you. I took a plane to Belgium a year ago to see my parents, and when I landed at the airport, I noticed the grey sky. I looked right, I looked left, I looked right again, and I noticed that the clouds go from one horizon to the next. It's like a giant salad bowl of grey clouds that have been put on Europe. In America there's mainly blue sky, with clouds in it. By default the colour of the sky is blue. They don't all cluster together to make up the sky. You can say, oh look, there's a cloud over there, and oh look, there's another cloud. But in Europe the clouds are the sky. They cluster together to make up the sky. In the UK you'll notice that the mornings are always sunny, but for some strange reason by midday it clouds over, always. So you start your day by saying, oh, it's going to be a nice day today, until midday. It's actually an oddity that the nice weather makes it past midday. By the way, do you know what sky means in Danish? The language of Denmark. It actually means cloud. How funny. So there's no difference. The English word sky actually means cloud in Danish. Sky. My second answer in the debate of whether it's preferable to live in Europe or America is a bit more serious. It really depends what you want to do with yourself. As a creative person myself, a musician of many years and a person who loves the idea of running a business, Europe wouldn't be the right place for me. And I don't mean business as in big dollars, it's not that. When it's done well, a business is a beautiful thing. It's about looking at the world, how you can improve it, how you can improve the lives of your customers. That's really what a business is. It's a very organic and creative thing. Let's look at a practical example. If I wanted to start a new band, I'd be able to do a small tour in my home state of America. Then I'd go to the next state. I'd go to Vermont, to Maine, to New York, all the way down to the Carolinas. The key words here are infrastructure and possibility. There's also the notion of trailblazers in America. Whatever you're interested in doing, someone has done it before you, or at least something very similar. There's also diversity in America. Whatever your talent in life, there's a place for it. If you're into fast draw, there's a place for it, there's a scene. If you're into wrestling, there's a scene for it. Be it Greco-Roman or Hulk Hogan type wrestling. You know, that thing went out in the 1800s in Europe, along with bear tamers and bearded women. You can be a professional hockey player with roller skates in America if you want. Whatever you do in America, it's scalable. There's a theoretical possibility at least that your project can grow, and it doesn't have to be money-based, it can be community-based, it can be anything. So not only is there a possible infrastructure, but there's also a frame of mind that's open to success and achievement. In Europe, people aren't geared towards thinking above their station in life, and I'll make an exception for the UK, which I found is open to new ideas, but generally in countries like France, they have very fixed ideas about who you should be and how you should behave, according to your social class, according to your academic background. They don't like people who shoot for the stars. It makes them uncomfortable. They like modesty, they like predictability, and they'll be quick to label you a shallow person or a nouveau riche for having big ambitions. They might not admit it or even be aware that they're doing it, but it's true. Speaking for myself, what I did with my French school OuiCommunicate in America is unthinkable in Europe. I have students all over America and in Europe also, and I'm allowed, most importantly, to grow and be who I want to be. I can use the talent with which I was born to improve the lives of others. If this was Europe, I'd be working for a language school now, or tutoring in some place. Worse still, customers wouldn't trust me, because I might not speak like a business owner or look like a business owner, and I don't meet their definition of a business owner. I'd have to dress like this all the time. Imagine doing YouTube videos dressed like this. And I'll tell you something more, even members of my family in Europe don't see me as a language school owner. That's what I'm talking about. Europeans can't bring themselves to believe that a person like me in his t-shirts, in his hat, can set up shop and say, okay, I'm a perfect bilingual of French and English, I have the university diplomas, the linguistics, the pedagogy, surely I can help people learn French, surely I can improve their lives in some way. And the answer is yes, in America, yes. And without getting too heavy in this video, there's also a matter of self-development. In Europe, it's incredibly difficult to push yourself to be the absolute best at what you do in a way that's recognized and rewarded across a broader landscape. And let me give you an example of what I mean from my own experience with teaching. In America, I looked at the tutoring scene, I looked at the whole of California, up to Oregon, I looked at the East Coast, and recently I looked at what they were doing in New York City. I looked at every single language school in New York City. What did I notice? No one was doing exactly what I was doing. What does that mean? Well, it means that this modest European came to America, looked at New York City, and he's taking on New York City. This experience would never have been available to me in Europe. You don't have the opportunity to go beyond. You remain modest. And now I'm completely immodest, as you can tell. But the fact is that you can't achieve that kind of recognition, that potential recognition, or scale that kind of ambition if you stay in Europe. It's much, much harder. The structures are a lot more rigid, the opportunities to break out of established molds are fewer, and as I said, the cultural reception to big ambitions can be less than enthusiastic. It's not about lack of talent in Europe, it's all about a system that isn't set up to encourage that particular type of ambition. I have friends in Europe who have a band and actually find it a very sad story because the talent was there. They could have done things. And now that I'm in America and I look at Los Angeles and I look at New York, I almost want to pick up the phone and tell them, guys, there's no one in New York, there's no one in Los Angeles who does what you could do, because the band doesn't exist anymore. Lack of opportunity, but the talent was there, they were really good. It led to bloody nowhere. So to conclude this video, there are literally 1,000 different variables with which we could compare Europe and America. I chose the weather at the start of this video for a bit of a laugh, but ultimately I think it really depends what each of us wants from life. Do tell me where you stand in this debate, I'm always very interested. My name is Chris from OuiCommunicate. Don't forget the promo code for the 4th of July. See you soon in a French class. Thanks for watching. Bye.